speaker will be James Forslund.
Thank you.
And totally ingenious, impromptu. Please welcome James Forslund. Thank you.
Thank you, James. Has there ever been a time in your life where you really wanted to be a total genius?
No.
Like, what would it feel like? What would it feel like to have a sense of knowing everything before it ever happened? What about if you knew your speech before you were going to give it? What if that was happening in a contest? What if there was a room full of people that you hadn't spoken before, and you stood up there and you had to hit an out-of-the-park speech? Not just for competition, not just for the sense of fulfillment, but for winning. Because you wanted to win. I know I'm not a genius, and I know that I have a long ways to go with my speechcraft, but I know given the opportunity, I can seek that sense of genius in the moment and take an opportunity to step in and do something that, whether it's charismatic, whether it's a complete flop, or whether it's something that no one else knows what I'm talking about. But I won't miss the opportunity. I won't miss the chance just to say, hey, it's there for you. Go out and get it. Genius is there for all of us. But what would it feel like when we received it? I know I would place myself at a level of intelligence in any given room, somewhere close to maybe one or two from the very bottom. I don't give myself a lot of credit for being overly intelligent, but why would I need to? Because I can get up and I can ad-lib intelligence. I can act intelligence. I can fake intelligence. I can be the genius I need to be in the moment because I have the willingness to be such. Now, there's no great genius in any of us. If Einstein were here, I'm sure he would tell us all the same thing, that he wasn't a genius. But he was inspired. He was inspired by events in his life and things that had happened to him over the course of a lifetime that gave him this level of ingenuity to place A and B and C in a line, 1, 2, 3. He saw things that maybe not all of us see on a daily basis, and not all of us really understand what's happening to us in our lives. But when we look back, there's a great story. There's an opportunity to get that story out, because each one of our stories matters. If the story had an ending and a beginning, that you already knew what was going to happen, it might not hit you the same. If you knew what your life was going to be like when you were born, by the age of 2, you'd probably be bored with it already. You'd be like, oh, no, I can't keep going like this. But you find out later in life, maybe by the time you're in your mid-30s, maybe there's a change that happens in your life. Maybe there's a metabolistic change in your 40s. Maybe in your 50s, there's a sense of true connection to what maybe God's plan was. Maybe it happens in your 60s. You can't see that genius coming, but that genius is on the way. It's on the way for all of us. The life cycle keeps going, and we keep learning. But taking the opportunity to learn every moment becomes the biggest reward that we have. We have to keep connecting to that opportunity and jumping at genius. If you want to get beyond the second stupidest person in the room, you have to jump for it. But it's not a win-win. There's no win in it. There's just the challenge. And in that challenge becomes the lesson. And that lesson becomes the experience that leads to the next great story. Not all great stories are alike. Not all great geniuses are alike. If Albert Einstein was here right now, understand the theory of relativity? If it were explained to us, would any of us understand what his story was or what he'd been through in his life? We would. We would understand because we would have him here giving us something very open, very expressive, very heartfelt, that could connect with an audience in a way that only his story could. There's genius in each and every one of our stories. And that story is what captivates the audience. And that story is what will, in turn, reward us with our own genius. Fellow Toastmasters, take every opportunity to seek genius in your life, and you will always be the great genius. How was that? 5 minutes?
5 minutes, 42 seconds.
5 minutes. You will always be the great genius. Thank you.